Hi, Mr. Plant Geek here. I'm in the Netherlands today in Boskoop at the Nursery of Living Creations. They breed Hydrangea paniculata. They are the super hardy varieties, hardy down to -30, and they have a particular pruning method that helps you get the best out of them. Let's have a little look at the different options that you've got when it comes to pruning your Hydrangea paniculata. So Hydrangea paniculata are probably one of the easiest types of hydrangea to prune, but you don't do it too soon because look at them now. They're beautiful. So we've actually left these over the winter months because these heads, they might be dying and faded, but they're still a great habitat for insects. They also look great with frost and snow on top of them. So we don't prune these until the start of spring. So that could be the end of March, it could be April, depending on where you live. But leave them until the start of spring, and then you've got 3 different options when it comes to pruning. So your different options are, first of all, do nothing at all and your hydrangea will reflower, but it might have smaller flowers on it. So the first thing that you can actually do is just a light prune, which is perhaps the easiest of all, and you're simply taking off the faded flower heads just beneath the top of the flower. It tidies up your hydrangea and it means that you will get flowers in that next year, but they might be quite small and your plants actually might grow a little bit taller as well, up to 2 meters. So your first option is your light prune. So with that light prune, you're still going to have quite big flower heads on your plants. They might need support. What about if you want slightly smaller flowers that won't need support and you get about 20 branches on them? So what we're going to do now is a medium prune. And we're actually going to prune the plants 40 centimeters off the ground. So we're going to do that all around the plant again during the start of spring. So how do we really get the best out of a Hydrangea paniculata? Well, actually a hard prune is the best way to work with your hydrangea. So 20 centimeters above the ground. So we're going to go right down, take off those faded flower stems, refresh the plants as well, and get an excellent shape on your plants. Don't be too shy about cutting your plants. Every few years, you might actually want to give them an even harder prune as you get very dense growth at the base. You might need to use a saw for that rather than your secateurs. So hard prune for your paniculata hydrangeas to get the best out of them. But don't be too soon because you want to leave those heads for the insects that might be hibernating in there over the winter. But what if, like me, you're too late to prune your paniculata hydrangeas? We're saying do it in spring, which tends to be kind of end of March, April if you're in the UK. But you can actually prune them up until May, depending on where you live. It could actually be a benefit for you to prune them later if you're in a hotter country, because that means the blooms will come a little bit later and last longer as well. Late pruning in May, means you're going to get flowers in August and through to September as well. But if you're too late with the pruning, don't wait until the plant has leaves on it. So as soon as the plant gets leaves in May, that's the point where you're far too late. But how exactly do we prune? Do we need to make sure that we're getting a cut just above the leaf node, or how fussy do we need to be about this? Well, actually, on the commercial nurseries here in the Netherlands, they cut the plants really, really quickly because speed is everything. So it doesn't really matter if you're going quite near to the leaf node or not, because actually, the plants are going to regrow anyway. Those leaf nodes will soon disappear as well. So those little bits of stem that haven't got any growth on will be lost in the bigger plant. Sometimes on the nurseries here in Holland, they even grab the whole thing and give the plant a big haircut. So don't be too shy of being a little bit rough with your plants. Remember, these are one of the toughest hydrangeas and hardy down to -20 as well. They even grow in Siberia. That is our hard prune. Looks good, huh? It's going to give us a really good crop of gorgeous flowers next year. Best way to do it, hard prune your Hydrangea paniculatas. So a few more tips when it comes to your Hydrangea paniculata. Yes, you can grow them in containers. Make sure they're quite big and you use a good quality compost. Grow them in the ground, but not too wet. This is an incredibly drought tolerant hydrangea. In fact, it really hates having a wet bum as well. So be careful about that. And enjoy your hydrangeas. Bring them indoors as cut flowers. Perhaps even preserve them in glycerine as well, so you can make really nice decorative features inside. So I hope this video has really helped you to learn the different ways you can prune your hydrangea. We're going to come back here to Living Creations later in the summer and see how each of those plants have progressed. So we'll see that difference in the size of the blooms and the performance.